Hello, I'm Colin Murray, Executive Director with Dane Buy Local. We have some interesting information here today to talk about the Big Share for 2022. And we have 4 of our partners, all of them are Dane Buy Local members, that are joining me this morning. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's coming up in the next day and a half, really, as we talk about the Big Share. So first of all, we'll introduce each of our participants here. We've got, I'm just looking at the order that I see you on my screen here. So Claire is from Sustain Dane. Helen is from the REAP Food Group. Hetty is from Rooted, and Steve is from Outreach. So welcome to each of you. Glad you're able to join us this morning. And some people may be watching this in the afternoon or evening. So whenever you're watching this, we're glad to have you check us out as far as what's taking place with the Big Share. So Community Shares is a wonderful organization. And Hetty, can you tell us a little bit about Community Shares? What is the organization all about?
Sure. So Community Shares of Wisconsin is an organization that brings together 70 nonprofits in our community that focus on social and environmental justice. And the intention is to raise funds, and that's done through workplace giving. And more excitedly now, we do that by participating in the Big Share. And one of my roles at Community Shares, well, 2 actually, I'm on the executive committee, but I'm also on the membership committee. And what we've been doing is really working hard to increase our member capacity, to make sure that we're also including more work from community members and nonprofits that are doing racial and social justice work, which a lot of times those nonprofits might be smaller and need a little bit more support to get to that space. And so the Big Share really is a great vehicle to include those smaller groups. So I'm really excited to tell more about that.
Is this an opportunity that's open to any nonprofit?
No, so you do need to be a member of Community Shares. We do have a formal process to include new members, which you can contact Community Shares to learn more about. But as I said, we have worked really hard to increase our membership, and we do have a couple groups that we call Big Share only groups that are members of Community Shares that participate solely in the Big Share and not in workplace giving.
Okay, great. So it gives us a little idea as far as what Community Shares is all about, and been around for a number of years here doing great work in the community. So a few years ago, Community Shares put together the Big Share, which has been a huge success. And can anyone tell us a little bit, give us a little overview as far as the Big Share is concerned? What is that all about? I'll talk at once.
I can start that off. So it's the Big Shares in its 8th year right now, and it's an annual campaign. The theme is Make Change Happen. So our goal right now is to raise $500,000 for those 70 nonprofits. And this is a project where we encourage everyone at all levels to participate. So a minimum donation of $5. And in a lot of ways, what's special is that those $5 donations, the smaller donations, are a starting point to get involved. And we're really excited about that. So the peer-to-peer, just, starting to learn about the nonprofits in our community and starting to be part of their contribution is really exciting for the Big Share. There's a lot of opportunities for matching as well. We have a number of organizations and businesses that have put up matching contributions, and also some fun stuff. There's some, fun prizes during things called power hours, where you really try to focus in, and kind of other fun games like that that get people, maybe kind of plugging in at different points that you can be a part of those.
And how much did you say the goal was?
$500,000.
$500,000, $500,000.
Right. And that's in one day of giving. So
One day. Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of activity tomorrow. And organizations can go to thebigshare.org. So that's the place to go to click in. And it's actually an amazing opportunity. Like we said, there's 70 organizations, all local. They're based here, they're doing work in our community, and it's really an amazing opportunity to learn about who is doing what in our community. If there's something you care about, social justice, the environment, food insecurity, supporting, youth, supporting LGBTQ, it's all in there. There's amazing people, and it's an opportunity, number one, to learn about them, and number two, to give tomorrow. It's a lot of these organizations really rely on days like today. And finally, to spread the word. So after you're done giving, let everybody know you gave. Encourage your friends. You can even set up peer-to-peer fundraising for a group you really love and care about. You type in their name in the bigshare.org, and you can set up a fundraiser on Facebook and help them raise money. It's a lot of really amazing ways to get involved.
Yeah, it's
So-
fun to see how everyone approaches it. Like, I know I have friends who kind of start their day and they have a dollar amount that they plan to spend, and then they let you know, like, I'm giving this much to this group and this is why, and I'm giving this much to this group. So it's kind of cool to see, like, who has a plan, who's doing it just to spur, off the spur of the moment, and who, for those people who might be really new to it, like Helen said, go into the Big Share page and really look and see. And the other thing that you can do is there's a leaderboard that shows kind of where groups are in terms of raising money. I encourage you to go down to the smaller organizations that aren't raising as much money and help them, and then come back up to your favorite group. Because I know, as a new person, when I first started working and doing the Big Share, as a smaller organization, we would look to the big organizations like, how do they do that? And we're at the bottom trying to raise $1,000. So, definitely it's a little bit of a competition, but also it's just a fun way, I think, for the community to learn about organizations and help those organizations raise more funds.
Yeah, in fact, let's do that a little bit with the four of your organizations.
Sure.
Helen, give us a little bit of an overview as far as what you're doing in your particular pocket as a nonprofit. Steve, why don't we start with you with Outreach?
Sure. So Outreach has been in Madison area since the early 70s. So we've been providing services for a really long time. We're a community center. So we have a library, we have a drop-in area, public computers that clients can come in and use. We also have social and support groups that meet here regularly. We do a few small events here every year, and also have been the organization that hosts the Pride event for Madison, and have a large banquet in the fall that recognizes people who have made really significant contributions to the LGBT community in that particular year. So, it's both offering a facility for people to come and use and to meet new people and engage. And also we do a lot of work out in the community. The last couple of years with the pandemic, we've had to shift to become much more of a virtual and online organization, offering our large events as virtual events instead of live events. And also the social and support groups have all been virtual rather than in person. So we're just opening up to the community, and our support groups are starting to come back. We're having clients come into the center and use the facility again. So that's some of what we do. We're focusing this year on a program that we have called the Wilma's Fund. And that's a fund that provides small emergency grants to LGBTQ homeless people in Dane County. And so they have to be over 18, live in Dane County, and be homeless or be threatened with homelessness. And we provide grants between $500 and $1,000 to those individuals. It's kind of a one-time deal, and there's just a variety of things that we provide grants for. So it can be a security deposit, rent, a hotel stay, repairing their car, bus passes, or utilities, phone bills, just things that people need for basic needs to help them to kind of get back on their feet. So that's what we decided to focus all of the money that we raise in the Big Share this year on.
And do you have a goal that you've set for the Big Share this year?
Our goal is $10,000. We have a matching gift from UW Health of $5,000. So we're trying to match their $5,000.
Very nice. Very nice. Such a important service that I bet a lot of people in Madison, Dane County don't even realize that that program exists. And particularly for perhaps those that are thinking about coming out or making a change in their life, it can be a scary thing, very scary. And here's an opportunity for you to be able to help support them both emotionally, but also financially. So it's so important for that to take place. So thank you for that service. Hetty, why don't you tell us a little bit about your organization?
Sure, thanks. So Rooted is a newly merged organization, and it's made up of two community share member organizations. So I started out with Center for Resilient Cities. I'm the director at Badger Rock Neighborhood Center. And now I'm the Deputy Director of South Madison Programming for Rooted. And the other side of our merged organization is Community Groundworks, which many people may know as Troy Farms and Troy Community Gardens. So our work is focused on collaborations rooted in land, learning, food, of course, is where we start. So, you'll find us selling CSA memberships. You'll find us supporting community gardeners and across the city. You'll find us in schools teaching young people how to grow food and how to cook food. And you can always stop by Badger Rock or stop by Troy Farm and learn more about what we do. But yeah, it's a great place to work, and I'm really excited. I think I'll be doing something with Community Shares Live tomorrow with REAP. So I'm really excited to get to sit down and have some coffee and talk about our work.
That's great. That's great. And what is your goal for tomorrow?
Our goal is $10,000. And a lot of that, those dollars will go towards allowing us to continue to support new community gardeners, people who want to get into that space. Support our community meals, which we try to, at the Badger Rock side, always have as a free offering to the community. On the Troy Farm side, we try to have it an affordable option. So look for those events to come forward, and also our garden education programs. We're trying to make sure that we have young people out in the outside, especially now with COVID. It's the perfect space for people to come to and grow.
Yeah, the one thing that I've always noticed with Rooted is how many different programs you have for young people. And that seems to be an area that's very important to you as far as an organization. So, that's great that you encourage that, get people started at a young age and in understanding the importance of food and where it comes from. It's not just running into the grocery store and grabbing it off the shelf, right?
Yeah.
There's a whole lot more to it than that. So it's such a valuable service that you have. And not to take things in a different direction here, but just very briefly, you have a plant sale coming up here shortly as well, right?
Yes, at Troy Farm. Yep. So get your orders in. It's always fun to get to come by and pick up plants and see people. I just want to quickly add to one of the other programs that we have that we're hoping to expand to the north side is our youth employment program at Badger Rock. And so at Badger Rock, the past 2 summers, we've been able to employ youth, many of whom were former Badger Rock middle school students, who've come back now as high school students and are doing work at Badger Rock. And so we're hoping to increase that and expand over to the north side. So it's just really exciting to see young people take on that work. Also exciting to see former students come back to their middle school and want to work and want to, you know, eat with us and reconnect with our staff.
What a great program. Thank you. Thank you for putting that together.
Thank you.
Helen, tell us a little bit about REAP.
Sure. So REAP's mission is, we strongly believe strong food systems can transform communities, economies, and lives. And that means being able to tap into this incredible legacy of agriculture that's in southern Wisconsin and create those strong systems to get local food, pardon me, get local food to people in our community and make it accessible to all people in the community. And that's what drives a lot of the programming we do. So probably the majority of residents in the region know us for our farm to school work. We've been working for over 15 years with the Madison Metropolitan School District to help problem solve and get local food onto the cafeteria trays of students who are in the Madison School District. You know, if you've ever been in and seen those garden bars, have seen the lunch menus with the little red barn days on it. Those are days that they've sourced the food locally. And for high schoolers, prior to COVID, that you would see our food truck parked out there once a week in front of the high schools, offering really cool, delicious, a little more experimental, a little more flavorful, and a little more culturally relevant lunches sourced locally. All of those are a result of this long partnership. We're incredibly proud of it, not only because it means healthier, fresher food getting to so many students who rely on that food. It also is supporting the livelihoods of small family farms. So we also published the Farm Fresh Atlas and getting ready to send it to print, the 2022 version. But also the farmfreshatlas.org allows people to find local food near them all over the state. And so we've been publishing that for over a decade now. And our Big Share goal this year is an ambitious one. Thanks to an unexpected, wonderful gift we got at the end of last week, we doubled our goal that we're heading for. So we're hoping to raise $20,000, and that is to launch a new program this summer. It's our summer mobile farm to school program. We have not been in classrooms for 2 years, and really feel the need to reach those students that have benefited from this programming. And so we want to focus on rolling out the food truck this summer and working with community centers around the city, as well as farmers markets, as well as some mobile Madison nights to bring food programming, not only to the youngest students, but also developing some food justice curriculum with our partners for older students. So Hetty talked about, being able to reach older students on a lot of levels, and that's a direction we're hoping to build out starting this summer with Centro Hispano. Actually, we started this spring and moving it into summer, as well as other neighborhood centers throughout the city. So that's our big goal tomorrow that we're gearing up for.
That's definitely an ambitious goal.
Yeah, it is. You got to stretch sometimes.
And do you want to mention who the gift came from last week?
Our match was a number of people who stepped up for us. I was a little bit out of our loop at the end of last week. My entire family was up skiing the Birkebeiner race. And so all that to say, I do want to double check that I have clearance to shout it from the rooftops before I do this additional gift.
Sure.
But we now have a $10,000 match. So a challenge match. So every dollar we raise tomorrow will be doubled all day long. So
nice.
We'll give it a push. We're excited to launch this program this summer, and boy, that would really help make that possible.
Well, That's very exciting. Yeah, hope that things go very well there and you exceed your goal on that. So Claire, why don't you tell us a little bit about Sustained Aim?
Great, thank you. So our mission is to inspire, connect, and support people to accelerate equity and sustainable actions for community well-being. And our work is really centered on holistic sustainability, which is the intersection of environmental health, equity and social well-being, and a just economy. So humanity, people at the center of sustainability work. And we do this in a number of different program areas. In no particular order. The first one is around that education part and helping people implement sustainability. We like to call ourselves really accessible. So if you're just starting on this journey, or if you maybe have been really passionate about this area for a while and a community can help you move forward, we're kind of that place. So it's workshops we provide, it's one-on-one assistance. We're running a climate commitment, climate action program right now, which is helping people tell their stories around areas they're passionate about. So that could be energy or transportation or food, and kind of what they're doing in their own life to make a difference and be part of climate solutions. We also are running programs focused on the intersection of affordable housing and energy. We are able to provide funding to 100 units of multifamily housing on the north side to fund the upgrades. So this is reducing the energy burden of multifamily residents, which is an area for a long time that has not been served by a lot of the incentive programs. We just completed one of our first projects, which is a wall insulation project, and heard the feedback that as soon as the residents walked in, they said it felt warmer and it felt different, and they could just tell already. So we're doing that work right now. And then our other program area is looking at recycling and waste reduction. We launched a recycling program last year that was really well received by the community. We had about 5,500 people that took the program and then taught an additional 44,000 people around recycling knowledge. With that, we're doing some work in the schools as well, and starting to look at some of the food waste, and you're trying to think how can you add more food recovery, or how could composting be a part of that, and starting to look at both the recycling and the food side in the cafeterias. All of our work is based on a foundation of having inclusive communities. We work in partnership with other organizations, other nonprofits. Everyone has a place in sustainability work. And also a term that we use, which is the ripple effect, which is talking about your work, talking about that you care about sustainability, and getting others to also include that in how decisions are made is critically important. We know about 80% of residents of Dane County believe that climate change is happening, and only 40% of them talk about it occasionally. So, helping more and more people find a way to be successful and be a part of this community is really a big part of our work.
I was thinking as we were putting this together, I didn't go back and look, but I think Sustained Dane is one of our original members of Dane Buy Local, going back 18 years ago.
Yes.
So I think you guys started about the same time we did 18 years ago. So we really appreciate that, and that support, that ongoing support between the two organizations. And as each of you were speaking, it really struck me how your programs overlap with each other. You complement each other without stepping on each other's toes. And that's a delicate dance to do. I know we deal with that with Dane Buy Local as well. There's so many great nonprofits out there in the community, and we're all doing great things. We don't want to step on each other's toes, but we're trying to accomplish something in the community to make it a better community for all of us. So thank you for your efforts, each one of you, and what you're doing in the community. It's so valuable and definitely needed. But it takes money to do that, right? And that's the whole point of the Big Share, is to provide some funding so that you guys can continue to move forward, to continue to grow and provide these services for the community. So let's talk a little bit about some of the activities that are coming up for the Big Share. And actually the first one starts tonight, and that's the Drag Queen Bingo. And Hetty, would you like to tell us about that a little bit?
Yes, I'm super excited. It kicks off tonight at 6 o'clock. For some reason, I had it in my head that it was going to be 8 o'clock, but now I realize I get to go to bed early tonight. I was ready to be up all night playing bingo. So yeah, it's going to be so fun. We did this last year and it was perfect. Normally we do this in person, right? But we're doing it online, so everyone can stay safe. And it's going to feature Cass Marie Domino and Bianca Lynn Breeze. And they are the drag queens that are going to MC the evening. And it's just like playing bingo, at the bingo parlor. You get a bingo card emailed to you. I bought chips and I had them delivered to my home. So I'm ready because last year I didn't think about it and I was like ripping up pieces of paper to use as my chips. And I want to be super cool and like ready for this tonight. So I've got chips. I'm going out to get food. I'm going to have drinks. I'm ready for this. So yeah, if you haven't already signed up, get in touch with Community Shares and see if they still have room for you to sign up and join us. It's going to be a ton of fun. And you can win prizes. Who doesn't like a good prize? And a good
Right.
drag queen.
Exactly, yeah. I participated in that last year. It definitely is a fun time. You can do it on your computer, so it's nice and safe and convenient as well.
Yeah.
So it's a great program there. All right, so another program coming up, I guess it would be tomorrow, would be Big Share Live. Who is going to talk about that a little bit with us?
I can share a little bit about that.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Big Share Live is kind of the online impact going on. Think of it somewhat like a telethon, and you can pop in. There's going to be local entertainment. There's going to be interviews, information from Community Shares and other supporters and friends, and just kind of a fun way to feel like you're there, and part of the celebration and part of the momentum throughout the day.
Great. So that's a nice feature of the whole program to keep you engaged throughout the day. So that's great. And then finally, at the end of the day, we're going to have a live performance by Tony Castaneda, Latin Jazz Band. Does anyone have details on that at all? How that's going to work?
I think
that's going to be great.
Yeah. I think it'll take place physically at the Dark Bar, if I got that correct, on Livingston and East Wash. But you can watch the concert, say, from your home on Big Share Live.
So if you haven't seen them perform before, amazing band. They're all local. So you definitely want to check that out. They're full of energy. So it's definitely a great organization to have tied to the Big Share as well. And just celebrating all of the successes throughout the course of the day because of everything taking place. So things have already started at this point. So if someone wants to participate, they don't have to wait till Tuesday to participate. Where do they go? How do they participate in the Big Share starting right now?
Yeah, they can actually go to thebigshare.org and start giving right now. I want to send a shout out to Cheryl Thorson, who gave $50 to Rooted already. Like, we love her so much. Thank you. But I'm sure other organizations have already started to have donations coming in. And you can continue to give after it's over for a few days as well. So we really appreciate those people who, maybe tomorrow isn't the day for you, but we'll definitely be there when you need to and feel the need to give. Right.
Yeah. So if the day slips by and you forget to do it, or for whatever reason can't do it tomorrow, you've got some extra opportunity there to do that. And then on March 8th at the Dane Bayou Local Breakfast, we will be announcing the grand total of dollars that were collected right at the breakfast. So we'll be doing that. You can do it either in person. We'll be at the Dane County Humane Society starting at 8 a.m. Or you can join us on Zoom and you'll be able to hear what that grand total is at the breakfast. Sherry from Community Shares will be there to announce that grand total. So we're looking forward to that as well. So there are some participating partners with all of this that are very important to pulling all of this together, including the Madison Community Foundation, Madison Gas and Electric, Boardman and Clark, and Exact Science, as each of those here in obviously the Madison area. Such important partners that we have there to pull all of this together. We want to thank them for their support in the organization. But there's also a whole slew of others that have been doing things as well. And it's probably more than we can list here in this recording. So we won't do that, but you can go on the website and you can see some of the other participants that are there as well. That have helped to pull all of this together. So it definitely is important for Community Shares and for the 70 organizations that are tied to the Community Shares. This is really an important event taking place on Tuesday, March 1st, the Big Share. And thebigshare.org is the website for doing that. Any last thoughts, any comments from anyone before we wrap this up today?
Just one thought popped in really quickly is if you are in a rush and you get to that page and are overwhelmed with 70 groups, you can always just make a gift to Community Shares.
Yes.
It's distributed to everybody. Do not let that be the reason you don't make a gift tomorrow because you don't have time to do the research. You can still make a gift and it will benefit everyone.
Good point.
And share the news. Every organization is gonna, be working on their social media to put up information that'll help inform your giving. So it could be a video, it could be a post, it could be any number of ways that they're gonna reach out to you. And so if you're inclined, share that information with your friends and let them know that you're giving. So that they can be a part of that process. And I say too, it's kind of like finding, what do they call it? Finding the Easter eggs. Look for how organizations partner with each other. I think you'll see that tomorrow. I think you'll find that, while I'm doing fundraising for Rooted, my colleagues are going to be at other places helping other organizations with their efforts. So it's not just exclusive to us. We want to make sure that we help the other organizations meet their fundraising goals as well.
Exactly.
I would
Great.
just like to thank Community Shares for doing the Big Share. It has really increased the amount of money that we raise through the Community Shares campaign. It's also really helped us to do a lot more online fundraising than we did in the past. So it's been a real benefit to outreach.
Yeah, to that end, I would also say, when you're paying attention to all of the things I asked you to, also pay attention to volunteer opportunities. Not only do we get financial impact from the Big Share, it's also a way for organizations or people to find out about our organizations and hopefully come through and volunteer. That's people power is
Great point,
amazing.
Hetty. Yeah.
Very good point. Reach out. We all love hearing from the community.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I want to thank each of you for joining us as we get this information out about the Big Share 2022, starting right now. So help support these 4 fine organizations or one of the other 66 organizations that are out there in the community doing great work. So thank you, each of you, for joining us this morning. Have a great day.
Thanks for having
Thanks
us.
for having us.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.